But right now in the studio, we've got some funny people in here. We've got Lucas Seeley.
Good morning, Big J. I love the red, dude.
Thank you very much.
Red's my favorite color.
I love the purple.
Thanks, dude.
We're both very colorful today in our hoodies and hats. We've also got a Mr. Wayne Wilcox. Hello, Wayne. I just want to say hello to you.
How's it going?
It's going fantastic. And then we've got Mr. Ben Gleib in the studio. Good morning, Ben.
What's going on, Big J?
Good to see you.
No compliments to my outfit. That was such an awkward beginning to your guys' interview there.
That is a very nice gray shirt.
Thank you very much.
Very nice. I can't even see you because of that blinding light.
I'll shift over here.
No, my producer will do it. It's just, he's really a douche. This whole morning, he made you guys come in early because he thought we had Susie Orman, the lesbian financial guru.
Sure.
On. And then I do my double checking of his schedule. I'm like, dude, she's on the show on Tuesday. And he's like, oh, I didn't even look at the email. I just thought because you said her name that she must have been today.
No, everybody knows that every single Friday, Suze Orman has lesbian sex all day long.
Exactly. Yeah,
and
she can't be doing interviews.
Tuesday, she does radio interviews.
Exactly.
So that's obviously was a mistake in your schedule.
He didn't know, but it's gonna be good. I'm excited for that interview just because I want her to give him some financial advice.
Another weird thing you might want to consider in the future also is when you hire producers, don't hire douche ones. That's just a suggestion.
That would be a good note. We had no idea how big of a douche he was. It's kind of like if you open a comedy club and your nephew's like, hey, I'm really good at comedy, Uncle John, and you're like, cool, and you throw him up on stage, and then he's really, really good or really bad. You never really know.
And sometimes douchebaggery unfolds slowly.
Yes.
It does take, so that's not, I'll take that blame off of your shoulders. It takes a while to get to know sometimes. But he makes a mean water, I'll tell you that much.
I saw him
making that. He gave me in this filthy mug. There is some kind of streaking disgustingness inside this mug.
I know.
But other than that,
he's very observant as well. Mm-hmm. Oh, you didn't want the fecal mug? I'm sorry. I thought
that's what it is. It looks that way.
I thought it was a special guest sort of thing.
Oh my God!
So let's tell people a little bit about your career. You didn't start probably at your uncle's comedy club. How'd you get into the comedy world?
I was always kind of the funny kid as a kid, which was annoying to everybody. My parents didn't like me that much. Went to college. I started a TV show called The Gleib Show, and then my last episode of my show, Carmen Electra was my guest. And so
how'd you score that?
Pay a lot of money. The university's funded like my last episode pretty big, and I was calling Hollywood Place, and I'm like, well, your celebrity do my college show? They're like, no, absolutely not. But Carmen Electra, I guess, needed some work at the time and came up and did it. And her and I started a torrid love affair after that.
Perfect.
In my mind.
That's a good place for him to happen.
Yeah. Because
fewer STDs there.
It's true. And in your dreams, anything is possible. She'll do moves she'd never do in real life. Say things to you that are, you're bigger than Rodman, things like this.
Yes.
As a star, as a celebrity, I mean. You know what I mean?
Exactly. More people know your name.
Yeah. You're
big.
much harder to understand when you speak because of your vocabulary. Things like that.
I'm sure you do have a much larger vocabulary than Rodman does.
Get ready for this. It's gargantuan.
Huge.
Yeah.
You guys, if you love a big vocabulary, ladies, you're going to love Ben Gleib.
That's right.
Out at Manny's this weekend.
That's right. And then I moved down to L.A. and started doing stand-up, and like a couple weeks in, I was doing shows with the likes of like Dane Cook and Chappelle, and I met Chelsea along the way. And then Chelsea Handler started putting me on Chelsea Lately 4 years ago, and it's been a whirlwind ride ever since, Big J.
Is that like the thing? Once Chelsea taps you and kind of gives you that nod, like you're good enough to be on my show, is that when things really kind of open up and you're validated to the world of comedy where you can, get better gigs and get paid what you deserve?
Yeah, her show is kind of like a flower that blooms for a career for you. Mm-hmm. No, it is true. She really is a big career maker. And then Dane Cook and I are good friends, and he took me on tour last year. Actually came through here and played the Fieldhouse in Bozeman.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that now that you say that.
And so that was a pretty incredible experience. So at the same time, I'd be working with two of the biggest stars in the world in comedy, Dane Cook and Chelsea Handler at the same time was a pretty exciting thing. And then I also have a podcast now on Kevin Smith's network.
That's awesome. We're big Kevin Smith fans here. We've had him on the show here a few. He actually dropped a bad word on the show once.
Hi, this is Kevin Smith. I'm Silent Bob and all those terrible Jay and Silent Bob type pictures, and you're listening to the Big J Show, the only J that matters, the only J I want to be Silent Bob to.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's my boy, man. He's the best. I just did a TV pilot with him, and then he gave me, and then I've co-hosted his Smod Coast Morning Show with him a few times. I've even guest hosted it, and then he gave me my own show called Last Week on Earth.
Very cool.
And do it every week. Cover politics, pop culture. But Kevin's a good guy, man. and not always sober. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can't be when you're that busy. And I mean, he's got a lot going on. You can't be sober the whole time.
Yeah, but that's why, that's the benefit of, are you allowed to say marijuana on the air?
Yeah, you can say it. You just can't do it on the air. You can do it. You just can't do it on the air.
Do I have to leave?
Yeah, you have to go to the next studio over. You can use my office.
I'd like to hang out with your douchebag producer. And
he's scared of drugs, though, so watch out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's straight up McGruff the crime dog.
What if I tie him down, blow something in his face, and I go, does this look like a clean mug to you?
Then he's fine. As long as he's tied up, he's like, as long as it's not me willingly, I won't go to hell for it.
Yeah. But, the opposite is true with Dane Cook. Never touched a drug or had a sip of alcohol in his life.
Really?
Isn't that weird?
That is a little
People
weird.
don't believe that when I say it, but it's true.
See, I would believe it. I mean, because, I don't know the guy. I'll take your word for it.
I swear I'm not lying. Why don't you believe me?
If you told me that, 50 Cent or Jay-Z hasn't touched a drug, I would think you were lying.
50 Cent dated Chelsea.
I know. Isn't that hilarious?
Isn't that
I love
crazy?
it. I mean, what a weird... She's messed up. I love Chelsea, but that girl has got... You know how they always say, comedians usually come from a dark place and, they've got these rough lives and they hate everybody and there's a lot of negativity behind a lot of comedians. Like, Chelsea seems like she seems like the kind of girl that's either gonna be pleasuring dudes in an alley to score more meth, like outside her trailer park, or be a super famous comedian. Like, she could have... That road forked and she took the right turn on that one.
Well, if that's true, lucky for her, I suppose, because that other path sounds horrible.
Yeah, that's half of Billings here.
Really?
You might be able to find the next Chelsea handler if you just go look around.
Cruise the alleys.
Yeah, we got
with
plenty.
my pants down.
Yes.
See what future comedy stars I can
and
find.
Just keep and go punchline and see what they got.
Who wants a TV show on E? Let's do this.
I think you should. What's it like? I
don't know if I buy into your theory, but I will try it.
It's worth looking into.
Sure.
What do you think about Chelsea? Is she, a super cool lady, like behind the scenes? Is she kind of quiet, low key? Is she funny? What's she like?
She's awesome. She's very similar to you to how you expect her to be. She likes to talk crap. She likes to give you a hard time, but she's one of the most loyal, sweet people in the world. It's like she only really makes fun of those that are close to her or big celebrities on her show. But people that are like in her inner circle, she likes to give you a hard time because that's how she keeps it honest. But she's so loyal. She's so sweet, man. She had me on her show for 4 years, and every 2 to 3 weeks I'm on that show like clockwork. And when she believes in someone's talent, she sticks by you, and she's just an amazing sweetheart. Such a generous person. She just gave me an awesome Christmas gift.
Was it a car?
It was not that awesome. It was a PS3, brand new PS3.
That's cool. I like that you threw in brand new. Like, she might have got you a refurbished one off eBay deals or something.
It was funny, though, because I got her a Christmas gift, too, and I went and gave it to her office the other day. And she's doing very well financially, so I don't think she particularly cared about the massage I bought her. She's like, what is it, a massage? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, thank you so much for the PS3. And she says to me, you're very welcome, Ben. I picked it out myself. With such strong sarcasm. Like, okay, I get it. One of your 3 assistants bought it for me, but still.
It's the thought that counts. Exactly.
Yeah, she's awesome, dude. But I remember it was so interesting when she was dating 50 Cent. I hadn't even heard the rumors of it. I didn't even know that was going on. And so I go to this one bar for one of the guys from the Round Table, Josh Wolf's birthday, this karaoke bar in Culver City. So like it was a very white bread neighborhood. There's all like kind of nerdy white dudes there singing karaoke way too intensely. And I'm in there, and I hadn't heard the rumors. And all of a sudden, I see 50 Cent there. And so I go to one of Chelsea's writers, Steve Marmelstein. I didn't even see Chelsea there. And I'm like, why is 50 Cent here? And he goes, oh, Gleib, you haven't met Curtis Jackson, Ben Gleib. And I'm like, oh, what's going on, man? And he's like the most soft-spoken guy. And I'm like, just so you know, man, if you ever need a white Jewish kid to drop a guest track on one of your rap albums, I'm there for you. And Chelsea all of a sudden peeks her head in the conversation. I didn't know she was there. She goes, no one cares, Ben. And then I see them with like their arms around each other. I'm like, what's happening here? And then she wanted to go at one point. He's like, all right, baby, it's cool. It's like she's so in control of her life. It was almost like she was wearing the pants in that relationship with a gangster rapper. She was like, I call the shots around here.
He's taking a bullet, but he's not going to... And he'll take some crap from Chelsea, too.
Everybody does, because she's so sweet about it, and she's so funny that that's what goes with the territory. When you hang with her, you know that you're going to laugh real hard, and you're going to take some jokes coming your way, because why not? Whose ego is that big? You can't take a joke,
Exactly.
But, yeah, so that's been a real blast. You have such weird experiences living in LA There's all kinds of random celebrities that you run into, man. I had an interesting experience. We were talking a minute ago about marijuana that I've never done, but the one time I did, I was at this club one night in Hollywood, and Paris Hilton was there, right? Mm-hmm. And I ended up somehow getting invited.
Anytime you say anything, I'm just going to keep playing drops throughout the show.
Hey, it's Paris Hilton, and you're listening to the Big J Show.
She's on the show too?
Yeah, she's been on. And also, speaking of marijuana, you said you've only tried it once as well.
This is President Clinton, and you're listening to the Big J Show.
Let me tell you something. When I go on the Big J Show, I like to go blaze out of my mind.
That's what he said. He's like, please cut that part out.
I never inhale except when I'm in Big J's studio. Then I inhale like crazy.
Are you going to do some impressions at your show?
No, just on the radio.
Good.
You never know. I might pop one out.
They're fun.
Yeah,
See, I'm the same. I'm kind of like you, I think, when it comes to impressions. Like, I like doing impressions occasionally, like when you're just kind of casual, but it's like, I'm not good enough or not confident enough in my impressions to think like, this is where I'm going to hang my hat. Like, check this out.
I started as an impressionist, actually. I started as an impressionist. I did like 100 impressions, and then I was really into it, and it was killing crowds. And then one day I was watching Jim Carrey's E! True Hollywood Story, and the announcer said, Jim was selling out at the Comedy Store with his impressions, but he saw his act heading one place. And it pans this slow shot to the Vegas Strip, and it says Rich Little on the marquee. And he's like, Jim did not want that life. He abandoned his act and bombed for 2 years while he reinvented himself. I'm like, I do not want to end up on the Strip just doing impressions my whole life either.
So you checked impressions off the list and went to next step, bombing for 2 years.
Bombing for 2 years, yeah. It was a great 2 years. Good. Very difficult 2 years. And I've been in the back alleys trying to get a comedy career going.
Very good, very good.
It was pretty great.
You were speaking of marijuana one time you tried it.
Yes, so I'm at this club, and I somehow ended up getting invited to go post-party at Nikki Hilton's house. And so I go to Nikki Hilton's house, and Paris is there, and like any good person who goes to a house you're not normally at, I brought marijuana with me because the one time I was going to try it, I wanted to already have a half-used bag with me. So
it's good. I mean, in LA, it's like usually, wine is typical. It's like wine or marijuana. You've got two options to offer at a party. It's like there's a lot of alcoholics there. That's not a safe move.
And everybody brings alcohol, but not a lot of people bring the weed. So I figured, let's come at it from the left side.
It's you and Seth Rogen. That's how Seth Rogen got so famous. He was just a mediocre writer, and then he was the guy that brought weed to the party, and everybody liked him.
I actually just did a pilot with him, actually. He and I were both on Kevin Smith's TV pilot recently, and Rogen is a good dude.
Oh yeah,
he is a real. Good. He just had this huge charity event in LA. This Alzheimer's event raised like $300,000. Pretty awesome.
His girlfriend's or his wife's mom's got Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Look at that connection.
Yeah, it's interesting. So anyway, forget that story, pun intended. And let's go back to the Paris Hilton story. So I'm in the kitchen of Nikki's house, and Paris Hilton's there and a few other people, and I want to break the ice. So I say, I've got weed if anybody's got a piece. And Paris goes, I have a pipe. And then she goes, but wait, what kind of weed is that? So I'm like, I don't know, it's like medical weed, and she's like, let me smell it. So she takes it and she smells it and she goes, that smells horny.
She said horny.
That smells horny. Paris uses English in a way nobody's ever used it before. It's like she was taught English by a drunk alien or something. Nobody speaks this way.
Smells horny.
So we indulge in the stuff, and then I'm sitting right next to her, and she hands me the pipe, and I hit it, and I turn to her and I go, this is a lot of fun, Paris. To which she turns to me and goes, and I quote, why don't you kill yourself?
Are you serious?
That's a fact. Why don't you kill yourself?
So she's nice until she gets a hit, and at that point, it's just like, who are you?
Well, so I was like, if it's cool, I'm not going to kill myself. And she goes, that just means I like you. To which I replied, no, it does not. That is the opposite. That means you want me to murder myself.
You might be mistaken, Paris.
Yeah.
I do not believe.
That's not how English works.
This is horny. I love that.
Let's pull out the phonics and make sure that you understand the meanings of words.
Oh, Paris.
Because that is not what that means.
You gotta love it. What other big, I love hearing stories about working with famous people. So, Seth Rogen, you filmed a TV pilot with him or that he wrote?
No, with him. It was just Kevin Smith actually is doing this like Chelsea Lately type TV pilot, and Arden Marine co-hosted with him, and he had me kind of co-host this one episode, and then Seth Rogen did 2 or 3 segments of panel with us. Really nice dude. It's a pretty funny moment too because I guess his publicist, who was there with him, is a fan of mine. I guess she's a fan of Chelsea and watches me on there. So I was in the writing room with Kevin and Arden before the show, and the producer of the show comes in and goes, Ben, you have to go into Seth Rogen's dressing room because his publicist is a big fan of yours. And I go, really? That's odd. I don't have big fans. And he goes, yeah, she actually is. I was in there right now, and she said to me, who else is on the show? And I go, Ben Gleib. And she goes, Ben Gleib. I love Ben Gleib. And Seth Rogen goes, who the hell is Ben Gleib? Well, that's pretty good, dude. There you go.
You got to just do that laugh after
Casual
everything.
impression dropped in nicely right there.
There you go.
Nicely done.
That's going to be awesome to work with him. And
it was fun, dude.
That's a guy you would never need to bring marijuana to the party. He's got it.
I did bring still, but it was really fun.
I was just listening to him on Stern the other day. He just did an interview there. That's why I learned about the Alzheimer's thing. But he was saying that he smokes before everything. He said the one time, I mean, the Today Show when he co-hosted, everything. He said the one he doesn't for Letterman because Letterman makes him really, really nervous for some reason. And he said his wedding was the one time it failed him, where he said he smoked so much that he got like really paranoid. But then he said everybody at the reception was just
stoned
smoking.
for his own wedding.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? He's like doing comedic riffs.
He says everything. He's like, I just can't. When he was working out for Green Hornet, he would smoke before he went to the gym every time to train, and like
that's how Kevin Smith and I actually bonded. Was at that night after the pilot taping. I met him that day. I just got booked to do his pilot, and because he liked some of my comedy, I guess that they showed him. And after the pilot was done taping, Kevin and I went out back on the studio lot and just smoked and had like an hour-long conversation where we just bonded. I told him like my life story, and he was like, "Man, come to the radio show," and led to a bunch of stuff. But
that's cool.
So that was pretty fun.
What about the? I mean, it's obviously cool when you meet somebody like Chelsea, and then they take you, and kind of bring you into their camp and give you these opportunities, like doing the show. And then Kevin's obviously doing the same thing for you. Do you ever get resentful of famous people that you meet that don't hook you up with something?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Are you ever jealous? Like,
No.
are you ever mad at Dane for? Whenever he does something, you're like, dude, why am I not a part of this? Like, I thought we were bros.
No, not in the least, because, these guys have their own careers, and they have a lot of people they've known over the years. Plus, Dane does hook me up constantly. He brought me on his tour. We did 31 cities all over North America together. He's also one of my writing partners. Dane and I are working on some projects together that we'll hopefully be bringing out to the general public in the future. The
problem here, what I'm going to say with Dane Cook's writing here, Steve-O, does comedy now.
Yeah,
have you seen him?
I have seen him, yeah.
I've heard he's horrible.
Not great.
And when I heard an interview with him, he says that all of his material has been run by Dane Cook and that Dane refined all of his stuff. I'm like, how if Dane refined your stuff? Is it that crappy?
That's not true. I think that probably what happened was Steve-O was at the Improv one night. I was actually there one night. I was talking with Dane in the restaurant area, and Steve-O comes by like, "Hey, Dane, do you mind looking at some of these jokes right here?" He sounds horrible. That's what his voice sounds like these days. And, maybe he gave him advice for a few minutes. I don't think Dane refined his material.
Yeah, dudes, I'm Steve-O. You're listening to the Big J Show. Say nope to dope.
Yeah, that was when he was off drugs for a little bit. Oh, hey, he's still clean.
He's still clean, I guess, which I think, honestly, he should probably stop that, and he should start drugs again.
Yeah, it was working out a lot better.
That might help his comedy, to be honest. He's just up there just telling slow stories. Wasn't that weird on the Charlie Sheen roast where he broke his nose twice during the roast?
To me, that's not my thing. I mean, it'd be fun, I guess, to see in a show, but he's just I want to
give it a rest.
Yeah,
you've got all these grown man.
You've got so many super powers of comedy up there, just killing it with this material.
Yeah,
and it's just that's funny if there's crappy comedy, but it's let something funny go back up.
Mike Tyson killed it.
Yeah,
Steve-O sitting there breaking his nose.
Mike Tyson was hilarious on that roast.
He was really funny.
Just because he's
pulling out a Homer and Odyssey joke in the very beginning.
That goes to show what good writing can do. I guarantee you he didn't even throw a suggestion into that.
True.
I'm sure he just sat back whatever you tell me to say, I'll do it.
Totally true.
Yeah.
Totally
have you written for a roast? Are you interested in that?
I have done a little bit of it, not much, but I've written. I've given some jokes to some people for the roasts in the past, for the Pam Anderson roast and for a couple of the other ones. But it's fun to do it, but I haven't been on staff. I've just given jokes to some comics that are on them.
We're roasting Big J next month.
That's what I heard. Yeah, big roast coming, huh?
Look at that fat ass on that poster right there.
Right here.
Lucas is taking this thing serious, man. He's training.
Yeah, I'm meeting with Jeff Ross.
Are you really?
Yeah.
He's learning the art of the roast.
Advice?
To learn how to roast, yeah.
I like it, man. Very cool.
Jeff is a great dude, man. I don't know if you ever had him on the show.
No, I haven't had him.
Oh, he's a great dude, man. He is. He's just one of the most solid people in comedy. Really nice guy. He's kind of like like, I don't know. He's kind of like the opposite of people who are mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
One
you
of
see
those.
what I'm saying, right? Yeah.
I
so
like
he's kind of like that.
Who do you like in the comedy world these days? Like, who's super hot right now? Speaking of like Lucas, obviously Lucas Seeley blowing up.
Never heard of him.
It's okay. Neither have we.
No, Lucas is hilarious, man. He's a great comic, man. He hustles. You know, he's created the comedy scene here in Montana.
Yes, he
If it
has.
weren't for Lucas Seeley, I wouldn't be here right now. Or
That's
I would,
true.
but I would just be in the alleyways looking for love.
Trying to get a TV pilot.
That's exactly right.
Trying to
Hoping.
work on something. Anybody? I mean, there's a lot of hate. And will you openly hate? I always got to ask that because like Lucas loves everybody. He's the positive school
I'm
of
not
comedy.
a big open hater. I mean, I'll hate people in politics, people who are messing up the world. I'm openly hating on
But
them.
like Whitney Cummings, you can't hate her now because
no,
she's in
a friend of
Chelsea's
mine.
camp. Yeah.
She's a friend of mine. She's cool, man.
We've had her on and I love her, but every other like male comedian that we talk to just like bashes the show, bashes Whitney, hates what she does.
No, Whitney's a sweetheart. You know, she works harder than anybody I've ever seen work. You know, her and I were really good friends. She was coming up, man. We would do gigs together. I would give her notes on her comedy and try to help her work on stuff. But I've never seen somebody escalate so fast and with such an insane work ethic. Suddenly she like shot right past me and she'd be giving me advice. She'd call me. She's like, Ben, I'm writing for other comedians. Here's what I charge them to write for them. Here's what you should do if you write for people. Like, I've never seen somebody be so targeted and focused. She called me one day. She's like, look, I am trying to get multiple projects off the ground.
I tried to cancel Grey's
She's
Anatomy.
working on that. Yeah. She really hates Grace Wu, whatever her name is. What's her name? What's the Asian woman's name?
Sandra Oh.
Lucas. Sandra Oh. Grace Wu. Same thing. And she called me. I'm like, how do you get so much done? She's like, I set alarms. I have timers in my kitchen. If I need a half-hour extension, I extend it and work on it for me a little longer, then move right on. Like, she's a focused woman, man. She has 2 TV shows on the air, maybe a third coming. So,
What's the second one?
Two Broke Girls.
Two Broke Girls. She executive
Which is
producer.
huge. It's her and Michael
EP on
Patrick King from Sex and the City that created it
She's
together.
a writer and EP on that show.
Yeah. It's going super, super well. She won some big awards for it.
Did she really?
Or they won the award. They won the People's Choice Award for Best Comedy Series.
Really?
We've had Michael Patrick King on the show.
I just saw some article online. It was comparing. They were saying that looks like Angelina Jolie. They're saying she's like a dead ringer for Angelina Jolie. She kind of does look like her. She's like a funny Jolie.
Yeah. A little bit, which I would take over Jolie. It's like, even if Angelina can edge her out on looks a little bit, it's like, I'll take a super funny chick that can have a good time. That's okay.
And just to encourage her to like go with that imaging of her, I drop off African children at her doorstep a lot. And I'm like, keep one of these.
You're a good friend.
She's she's a sweetheart.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was,
by the way,
just all of a sudden pumping music.
I loved your riveting interview with Cupid. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Cupid Shuffle changed my life in that before I'd heard of it, I had never heard of it, and now I heard of it. And so now I know what it is.
I get a lot of crap because I hadn't heard of it until the show was coming up, and everybody's like, really? Like, they play it all the time, and then they'd fill in the blank with clubs that I never go to.
Sure.
I'm like, well, there's the reason I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
They don't play it a lot on, like, talk radio.
No, they don't play it a lot on talk radio, and they should, because it would really spice up the mornings.
Yes, it would. Like, Bill O'Reilly, like, we'll be back with the lead political strategist right after some Cupid Shuffle right now.
James Carville and the Cupid Shuffle. Okay, we're going to do now. We're going to decide about the debate last night. We'll do the Cupid Shuffle, okay, everybody?
I would
great.
I would love to see like Newt Gingrich, and that's what we should do. If it gets close between like Mitt and Newt Gingrich, we should have a dance off.
Who do you like between those two?
Oh man, I'm so torn. You know who I really like? I mean, just to polarize everybody, is I'm a huge Ron Paul guy.
I like Ron Paul too.
I love him.
He's the only one that actually speaks like real truth out there and cares. But he's also the problem. He really should kind of go with a Cyrano de Bergerac strategy. He doesn't have the presence of a president. He needs to be hiding behind the podium and whispering the answers to Mitt Romney, who looks good.
I think, well, and he is a little bit crazy too. People will bring up stuff like, what about the fact that he says anybody with AIDS deserves it, and it's because of their choices and stuff?
He said that?
Yeah, I'm sure he said something like that, and I'm like, you know what? You can't win them all. And it's like, I just want change. Even if it's not the change that I want, everybody promises change. I believe he would actually do it. And even if I don't agree with it, like, I want to try.
Right.
Like, what if he just got rid of city government? Like, I might be kind of cool. Who knows? If it doesn't work, I'm sure the next guy will fix it.
He's so crotchety. He's so funny. He's always like, I'd get rid of everything. I want to get rid of every department of government. I'm not going to pardon a turkey on Thanksgiving. I hate killing. I love killing turkeys. He's just like a crazy man.
I kind of want to see. It's just like, I don't know. That seems a little reckless that I just want to give a guy that I think is a little bit crazy. I just want to give him
I like that
infinite
strategy.
power.
I like that strategy a lot, really.
It would give you endless material. I guarantee you.
Oh, man, it'd be great.
You would never have to write a joke again. They would just write themselves.
Even though Obama's starting to lend himself to some material, too. He's really, just even in general, just the war in Afghanistan, right? Just the fact that, have you ever, remember when he announced we were raising our troop levels? Have you ever seen a war speech be more pro-war and anti-war at the exact same time? He's always trying to please everybody. Mm-hmm. Every line was like, oh, this is a war against violent extremism that we will win and we must win. Unless it takes longer than 18 months, then we're out. Unless they need us, we are happy to stay. Unless they don't want us, we are happy to go. If they don't want us and do need us, I will flip a coin. Maybe that's what he meant by he will bring change.
Yes. I brought 2 quarters and a dime and a 50-cent piece.
Yeah. That's actually, I used to love listening to Obama speak. It was inspiring until I realized recently who he sounds like, and it messed me up completely. I can't focus on his speeches anymore. He sounds a lot like Yogi Bear. You notice that?
I can see it.
He's
a little bit.
What we're going to do, we're going to come down for everybody who's unemployed, picnic baskets. That was his speech the other day. Picnic baskets for everybody.
That would be good. I would get behind him at that point. I would absolutely get behind him.
Big J, depends what's in the basket.
That's true.
What if he gives you Obama stickers
or feces
and a banana?
Mugs.
Feces-covered mugs.
A whole bunch of feces.
Nobody likes that.
Gosh, people. I want to know about being a professional comedian.
Yeah.
Where does obviously, I know you're not going to tell me what you make on certain things, but it's what kind
80.
of stuff do you get paid? Just 80 flat.
Yeah.
When you go on the road with Dane Cook and he's making $700 million a performance, does he throw you a decent chunk of change, or is it just decent compared to other road gigs?
It's decent compared to other road gigs. It's decent in general. It's good. People aren't there to see me, so I'm not expecting to get $1 million on that tour. They're paying to see him tour, and it's already a huge break in my career to be on the tour and be performing over the course of that tour to 300,000 people over the course of a month and a half and get all these new fans. And you also playing sold-out arenas in the round.
Yeah. But I've always wondered, it's huge for you, obviously, so I get it, but I think there's a lot of comedians probably, or in any business, music, where they just kind of we'll pay your way, we'll give you $1,000 a gig, come out, and some little piddly thing where it's and you do it in a heartbeat because it's great, and it's, more money than you'd make in Billings or whatever it is, but then when you go, I was wondering if he's your friend, he's no, kick him. I'm making $200,000 on this gig. Kick him 5 G's per gig or something. Right.
No, I did well. I did fine. I had no complaints about it whatsoever. Plus, you have to realize that the other payment you get is after the show backstage, which is honestly a lifetime of memories.
I can imagine.
So just that alone.
Do you think Dane Cook's one of the greatest comedians, or do you think he's really, really good at marketing himself?
No, thank you so much. Thank you. Your producer just brought me a bottle of water, which I kind of expected the first time.
I had to round up 65 cents to be able to get that for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now, why is this also covered in feces? Is that weird?
We have got it out of the feces machine. Gosh, dang it.
No, I think Dane is one of the greats, man. When I was in college, and my brother first introduced me to him, nobody ever made me laugh out loud as much as Dane Cook. That Harmful of Swallowed album just made me pee myself. It was hilarious. And he followed up with so much prolific stuff, these concerts that would just kind of change what comedy could be to a large degree. Mm-hmm. To do huge things in the round, like you're doing a Neil Diamond concert, for crying out loud. I think he's an innovator in comedy, and he's hilarious, Maybe he's not for everybody. I know people like to hate on him. I think he's a very creative, brilliant guy.
Do you hate on anybody?
Yeah.
Openly, in the comedy scene? Are you, I'm trying to think of people that honestly get hated on a lot. Whitney's hot right now for that. Dane gets hated on often. Carlos Mencia gets hated on because they think he's a joke thief. Menstelia.
I've known Mencia for a long time.
A picture with he and I right there, and his little midget.
Oh, really? So, are you a fan of his?
You know what? Before that, I didn't know. I knew who he was, and I'd watched Mind of Mencia, and then I watched the joke stealing video Rogan did, and I was kind of what a hack. And then when I got him up here and sat down and had a conversation with him, totally gets it. Totally, he's like, I don't know. Like, here's the situation behind all those things, and then I went to his performance, and he killed it. Like, that's what I found.
Right.
Every comedian that people hate, kill it. I mean, his show was outstanding. Same thing for Carrot Top. Like, everybody hates Carrot Top. I hung out with him and went to his show here, and was just like, everybody walked out of there going like, that was an amazing show. Like,
well, I mean, people definitely hate on people that kill just because they're jealous, but I don't know if I would qualify Mencia's show as a brilliant show. I mean, I thought he was a little heavy in the DTDs and I thought it was a little stereotypical.
Even in Montana, you got to remember that too. We're not playing to a bunch of college graduates here.
That's true. But no, I mean, Mencia's always been cool with me. I've known the guy for years, but one time it was a little bit awkward. I was at the height of all the stealing rumors about him. I was at the Improv and I had a really good set, and I came off and Mencia was watching the set, and that's just the weirdest thing. He normally, if somebody will compliment your set, they'll do it and still talk to you for a minute. He literally says to me, "That was a great set, man." Turns around and starts walking away and repeating down the hall, "Great set. I mean, really good material."
It's one of those scenes in the movie where your eyes get big and you're like, no.
Yeah, I was like, what's happening?
He's taking it all.
That joke's his new closer now.
He sits there on his iPad at the end of the hallway, just really quickly.
It was a little weird. And I haven't seen him since, actually. But, I mean, he's always been nice. I'm sure he didn't take my joke. But
you didn't do a lot of your crazy Mexican family jokes that night, did you?
No, I did.
Oh, man.
I do them all when he's in the room. Just that's the only thing he will steal. Although
That'd be a funny bit. If you had a big show, somebody did it, like the Comedy Store, it's packed, and you see Mencia in there, and you're just like, I'm going to change up my whole act because I'd like to keep my own jokes. So,
can you imagine if he's listening right now and his next concert, his big closer is, and then Paris Hilton goes, "Why don't you kill yourself?" Like, wait a minute.
I've heard
that
before.
when I said it because it happened in my life.
Oh.
USOB.
Look at this, Chubbs. Read that last tweet there. You can't do anything right. Why don't you just kill yourself? Somebody you do the favor of to us, Ben, of saying, "Hey, I'm going to be on this show. Check it out online." And then Danny Robinson, I don't know who that is, but he says, "Hey, I really wanted to listen to Ben Gleib, and then I got ambushed with ads over and over, and it wouldn't stop." So he tries to go online and listen to us, and douche nozzle over here's got ad after ad playing.
Why? Why aren't you streaming this thing straight up? We discussed this.
Look at him.
I'd rather drink Fiji's water. What is?
I don't know. I got to put in a new IP and enable the socket connection, and I was busy getting water. And
who the hell are you? Are you Igor from Ghostbusters? What is happening here? You're the nerdy Ghostbuster.
He is, but he's not busting any ghosts.
No, man. You're like Rick Moranis wishing you could make love to Annie Potts. What is happening over here?
And then he just leaves. I love that. He's gonna get a hand.
Fanat about Vigo, the master of ego. Try to batter my voice. It's not legal.
Whoa.
Remember the old Ghostbusters rap?
Yep.
Too hot to handle?
I didn't know you remembered.
Too hot to handle, too cold to hold. The kind of Ghostbusters and in control. Had to throw in a party for a bunch of children. When all the while started under the building. So I packed up my broke, came equipped, put my proton pack in my back, and I split. Fanat about Vigo, the master of ego. Try to batter my voice. It's not legal.
Wow.
Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown.
Wow. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Cupid Shuffle.
I gotta get some text here. Let me read some of these. Somebody said, "I can't wait to see Ben tonight. Ben is hilarious." Just a sec. It's got to reload.
Got to reload. Oh my God. Does anything work these days? What is happening?
I'm blaming everything on him too.
You get a faster internet connection in a back alley while your pants are down.
You absolutely could. Gleib is the best comic interview yet. He's hilarious. He's down to earth. Thank you for coming to Billings, Ben. I can listen to you doing interviews and BSing all day. No homo. Hilarious. And somebody said, "Tell that douchebag the field house is in Bozeman, not Billings."
That's what I said.
I think he said Bozeman. Somebody said, "Saw him in Bozeman with Dane. Very, very awesome." So
tell that douchebag when you leave comments, don't say things that aren't what I said.
Don't be wrong, idiot.
This person wanted to talk crap so bad. He's like, he just said the right place. It's not, my brain won't accept it.
Exactly. Tell him his name's not pronounced Ben Glob. It's Ben Gleib.
Tell Ben Bobscobs that he's saying his name wrong. What's Gleib? It's not even a sound.
And somebody else said, "Ben is OMG like hella hot. If I wasn't already gay." Just saying. Hey, Ben, how you doing?
If I wasn't already gay, what does that even mean?
We've got his name. He's an openly gay gentleman that listens to the show.
What does it mean if if he wasn't already gay, he would switch to being gay?
Like you would make him gay.
That was like an unnecessary skip in that. Why doesn't he just say, "I'm gay and I'm into it," instead of saying, I'm gay, but if I weren't, I'd become gay again and get right back to this moment like Mr. Destiny, like Michael Caine with that baseball pitch that I could have missed, divergent moment in my life. It's a very roundabout way you're trying to compliment me, this nice gay man.
It's true. Speaking of gay men, are you dating anybody? I mean, do you have any cool
Why would that be your transition? Speaking of gay men, are you dating anybody?
Kind of known
Me and John Cusack are having a great time.
I'm going to send that off to the blogs.
Did you read that thing about Todd Glass, right?
Yeah, Todd Glass, a buddy of mine, and he just came out of the closet on Mark Maron's podcast.
Todd Glass did?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
What's
Dating a
even
dude
weirder...
for 15 years, right?
What's that?
Dating a dude for 15 years.
Yeah, and what's even weirder is I actually knew it. I heard it. Todd never told me, but I heard that from a mutual friend that was really good friends with him. Years ago, I heard this. Of course, kept it secret because I'm a secret keeper. I'm like a vault I'm like a night at the museum. No one sees it except kids, and they don't tell anything to anybody.
Do you know who wrote that?
Yeah.
It's Thomas Lennon.
Thomas Lennon.
Yeah, Reno 911.
And Garant, yeah.
Those guys are Herbie Fully Loaded. We've had them on the show a bunch of times too, but it's so fun to me that like they love true comedy and like doing real comedy, and then on the side they're like, we'll make a few $1 million, like write some stupid family movie. And
speaking of Herbie Fully Loaded, you want to hear Lindsay Lohan's story?
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. You've dated her, right?
She and I dated, and you know when I ended it, when her teeth started falling out, I'm like, look, I'm cool with the coke use, I'm cool with the meth use, I'm cool with you throwing your life down the career, right down it.
Getting these shows off the air and throwing shows down
off the air, throwing your career down the career, stealing necklaces every left way and which shoe. But when your teeth fall out, I'm done.
That's a good point to be done.
And I regretted it instantly because then I thought, actually, it could have been great.
Yeah, we could have shared baby food.
Could have gone into a back alley and had some toothless joy.
Yes.
So that's the only problem. But I was back when she was 19 years old, 2 years beneath the drinking age. I went to this bar in Hollywood, and a friend of mine had done a movie with her. So he says to me, "Do you want to meet Lindsay Lohan?" She ended up being she's like, "Do you want to meet Lindsay Lohan?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And we go into this VIP area past all these security guards, and he goes, "This is Lindsay," and I go, "Hi, Lindsay, nice to meet you." And then he goes, "This is Lindsay's mom, Dina. Her mom was drinking with her at a bar when she's 2 years before drinking age." Do you see the origins of the problem that is Dina Lohan's horrible parenting?
Both of those parents. We've had Michael on the show a few times too, and every time the dude is just like, he could care less about those kids. Like, it's all about getting his name in the tabloids. And he doesn't care for what either.
He's the largest douche nozzle ever. His nozzle of douche is premium unleaded Techron clean douche nozzlery.
That's who McLovin aspires to be. Like, he's on the Michael Lohan train.
He's the worst. I remember the day his daughter went to jail the first time, like I guess a year and a half ago. That night I did an episode of Chelsea, and Susan Sarandon was the guest, and she invited me. I'm a big ping pong player. She invited me to the opening of her ping pong club at the Mondrian in West Hollywood, and I go there. It's a big event. Michael Lohan's there, doing the red carpet, trying to get every photo taken of himself. Your daughter went to prison.
Yeah.
You should be home crying at your horrible life.
Or beating your girlfriend at least. Doing something else you enjoy.
Something productive.
Yeah, stay out of our way.
He's just a horrible dude.
Have you dated any famous people?
My ex-girlfriend's pretty famous. Not like Lindsay Lohan famous, but I don't know if you know a girl named Courtney Hanson. She used to host a show called Overhaulin'.
Oh, yeah.
You know her from Overhaulin'?
She's hot, man.
Thank you. Say that into the microphone, please.
Dude, she's hot.
Thank you very much. She's very, very attractive. She was.
Oh, wow.
She's one of FHM's 100 Sexiest Women in the World. She's on the cover of that magazine.
What did you
She
do
currently
to screw
hosts
that up?
Spike TV shows every weekend, the Power Block and Power Extreme 4x4 and trucks. And what do I do to screw it up? I'm just an idiot.
That's one of those. You just lock that down right there.
She's stunning, right? And she's an amazing human being, and she's just lovely to hang around with. And she's like Madonna in the car world. She's really famous in the car world. She always hosts cars. She has a brand new car show out too. I forget what it's called.
I bet you could get it in free to any NASCAR race ever.
Oh, I totally could. Yeah. Whenever I meet car guys, I've been in the airplane and guys are like car magazine. I'm like, my ex-girlfriend's Courtney Hanson. He's like, shut up, dude. I'll just tell him personal stories.
That's awesome. Just to give him a little bit. Like, come on, here you go.
Yeah. So she was awesome. I mean, she still is awesome. Just with that, she's married now.
Oh man.
Yep.
That's devastating. Right after you, did she just
Are you looking at naked pictures of her right now? What are you looking at?
Just a Maxim shot.
Bikini pictures? Can I see the one you're looking at? No. I want to relive my own life.
Yeah, I want you to cry too.
Oh, it used to be good. It used to be a good life.
She is beautiful.
My God.
Do you have any other, when you're on Chelsea, you got to meet everybody. I mean, you get to meet random, like, hodgepodge of famous people. Like, none of those have appealed to you. Like,
no, they appeal to me. They kind of keep us away from the A-list stars that come and be guests. Like,
I don't want to annoy them.
Yeah, and it was really funny actually because, especially me, they kind of keep me away from them for some reason because I get excited. Like, I like to meet the rappers. Like, told Ludacris this personal story from my life that he loved. It was a story so amazing that his song one of his songs was involved in that a rapper who's seen everything was like, dude, that story made my week.
That's awesome. Luda's my favorite rapper.
I love Luda, dude. Yeah. And then it was the same song that he did with Lil Jon. I told Lil Jon the story. Lil Jon was like, dude, amazing story. I was like topping rapper stories. And but they got annoyed at me for like going up to all these people and telling them these stories. So, and they knew I'm big into ping pong. So when Susan Sarandon came on the show, I showed up in high school. I won a ping pong trophy. I was my ping pong champion in my high school. And so I heard she's going to be on the show promoting her ping pong club. I brought my trophy, and I'm walking into the building with my trophy. Right when Susan Sarandon's walking in, they literally run to my car. They're like, Ben, stay in your car. Do not approach Susan Sarandon with your stupid trophy. Stay away from Susan Sarandon. I'm like, relax. I'm not going to make it awkward. I might show her the trophy. They're like, you're not showing her the trophy. So they take me to my dressing room. They cordon me off. They don't let me anywhere near Susan Sarandon. They're like, it's an Academy Award winner. We're trying to get bigger guests. Please don't harass them. So I didn't do anything, but on air I talked about it and showed the trophy. So then after the show, I'm by my dressing room, but the restroom's near there. Susan Sarandon comes out of the restroom and she's right in my face, and she goes, very funny thing. I go, you got to see my trophy. And I ran and I grabbed my trophy. I'm like, she's like, is that a ping pong trophy? I'm like, yeah. She grabs my hand, drags me down the hall into her dressing room. Everybody's like, what is happening?
You look at the security guard like, I can't stop her.
I thought she was about to make love to me in her dressing room.
Yeah. And make you smack her on the ass with a ping pong paddle.
Right, I would have done it, and that didn't happen. But she invited me, showed me to all of her like entourage there, my trophy, and she invited me to her party that night. And her and I ended up hanging out the whole night. It was one of the best moments of my life. I'm hanging out with Susan Sarandon for 2 hours at this party, just her and I talking, having a great time. Chelsea shows up at this party. That was back when she was dating Dave Salmoni, the animal trainer guy. And I'm hanging with Susan Sarandon, and from 20, 30 feet away, Susan didn't even notice Chelsea yet. Chelsea makes eye contact with me and mouths to me, really, Ben? She couldn't believe her eyes.
It was funny.
The next morning, Chelsea tweeted, Ben Gleib, did you hook up with Susan Sarandon last night? Which I wanted to, but I got nervous.
I love that. It's funny that you're the power couple in that situation. People
right?
like
Isn't
Chelsea and who? It's
right?
like there's Susan Sarandon and Ben over there.
Can I explain to you how hot Susan Sarandon is? She's 63 years old. By now 64, I guess. She looks not a day over 61. I'm kidding. She looks like she's like 48. Yeah. She looks really good, man. Like, would I have hit it? You better believe it. Would I have hit it in the back alley? Absolutely. Would I hit it right now? Yes.
See, I'm the same way, but I'm
you didn't even
more
ask
like
me any of those questions, and I still answered them. That's how into it I am. Yes.
I would say I'm such a fame guy, like, and I love like famous people that I would like anybody. You name somebody famous, like what are the Judds? Like one of those big beastie
Ashley.
women. Like, no, not even the hot one.
Ashley's
I'm talking like that the old fat one with the red hair. Isn't that a
You
Judd?
would hook up with Winona Judd?
Just look at that story.
She performs in prisons.
To go around and just
That's the kind of woman she is.
But to be able to say, like, dude, what's your funniest sex story? What's your most embarrassing hookup? Like, well, there was this time I hooked up with Winona Judd. Like,
oh my God.
I just want that story.
Yeah.
So I
could probably make that happen for you, dude.
I would love it. I would love
Winona Judd.
Yeah.
You know what you could probably do right now? Go on WinonaJudd.com, email her. You'll get a response within 6 minutes. You're my first email in years.
I'll
meet you anywhere. Name the alley.
Who's like an ugly Kathy Bates? I'd be all over Kathy Bates.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Just to say, I'm willing. I'm
Aside
really willing.
from the fact that she's incredibly unpleasant to look at, I'm literally afraid you'd be in bed and she would take like a sledgehammer and break your legs and keep you there forever.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think?
As long as she brought me some beef jerky.
Why beef jerky in particular?
I've got a weird thing about like waking up in bed in the morning next to a celebrity. It started with Britney Spears, where I imagined if I was with her, then you wake up and you just have like a hankering for some beef jerky, and she's so rich that you just have it. Like you're just like, man, I feel like beef jerky, and then this like guy comes in with a bag of like a variety of jerkies.
So I like high country jerky.
So what's really?
It's this Montana jerky. It's called High Country. It's delicious.
Interesting.
I enjoy it. I have
just heard high, and he's like, "What is this jerky?"
What I find really weird about Jay's story is that the hottest part to you about making love to Britney Spears is the fantasy that in the morning a man will bring you meat.
Yes.
On demand.
Yes.
That's what you're into.
Weird. I'm into a lot of weird things.
You could probably definitely get Britney Spears to make love to you, just so you know.
She's taken.
Everybody does it, but it doesn't matter.
She's engaged.
Doesn't matter. She's engaged to banging random people.
That's true. That's
what she's engaged to.
That as well.
She loves it, man. She likes to make love to her fans.
Oh, I'm going to get a hold of her then.
You should do it. I used to be a big Britney fan. I went to her live HBO concert taping. I was in like the 5th row dancing.
Just getting into it?
Oh, getting into it. I was the only person that was over a 14-year-old girl there.
You just like...
Got a lot of numbers that day, guys.
It's the
guys,
numbers.
it's a joke. A lot of numbers of people's ages that I would never... Come on, guys. I'm not Lucas Seeley, okay?
It's a little too close to home for McLovin here, too. He likes them. I like them young.
Yeah.
How old is your girlfriend? 19?
20.
20.
Which is not, I mean, that's not that bad.
What does she do here?
She works.
No, you talk because you're funnier.
She works at another radio station. She like pushes buttons like what I used to do like 5 years ago, just like basketball games.
And she comes home and pushes your buttons, doesn't she?
Let's talk, I mean, not talking about McLovin, but I just want to ask you a question as a man, Ben.
Yeah.
If you were like a young man in your early 20s just starting to hit your stride, do you think there'd be often times where you would just say you'd rather not have sex or be sexual?
I can't even comprehend this question.
Thank you. That's all I needed. That's all I just wanted to know, just for everybody to get on the same page.
Who's doing this?
La 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 la.
You're having a period where you're not having sex?
He just is like, dude, you know what?
Unless you're on your period.
I'm trying to ask him like guy stuff, like, hey, you get? He's like, dude, it's not. Sex is not what a relationship is about, and it shouldn't be about. And if you just want to think that's what it's about, like, I'm tired sometimes. Sometimes I want to just watch a movie. Like, I'm like, what the heck? You're 23 years old, and look at you. You're finally pulling some tail. Like, take advantage of that.
Yeah,
Did she tell you to say this, McLovin?
I'll tell you what, McLovin.
No, it's not important. Our relationship is built on love and trust and not sex.
If you look up the definition of erectile dysfunction, the definition of it is our relationship's not built on love, it's built on love, and sometimes I like to watch movies. That's what erectile dysfunction means.
What's better, lost or sex? Lost.
Okay, can I
for the 4th time through?
I've never heard a more dork bomb statement in my entire life. Lost is a good show, nowhere near sex.
And he's being honest, like 4th time through. It's not like he's just getting into Lost. Like he's seen the whole thing all the way through, and he's just rewatching it. And that's like, it's like sex or my 4th time through Lost. Like, you know what? Let's check out episode 48.
And I got news for you too. You can watch Lost while having sex.
I know.
What's the Dharma Initiative?
See?
That could happen.
Spoiler alert, she hasn't got there yet.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we know that. Otherwise, you'd be having sex more often.
Yeah, obviously. She can't wait. She's like, get off me, man. What are these? Who are the others?
Where are these polar bears coming from? We gotta go probably at some point here. Has it been like, we've been talking almost an hour?
47 minutes.
47 minutes
I'd like to go 3 hours.
That's a record. That's an absolute record. The only
3
problem,
hours?
No, 47
It is?
minutes.
That's a record?
Oh, yeah. We don't.
good.
I mean, usually we cap out at 10. Sometimes with the comedians, we go, like our celebrity interviews over the phone, we have, they keep them to 10. It's like, because they're on a tour. And then when we have people in the studio, like we've had a few go longer. Kyle Cease went pretty long, and we had
Kyle Cease is a good buddy. What do you think about Cease and his whole inspiration take of the world?
I like, it was fun. That's what he did most of the time up here. He did a little bit of comedy, and then he went straight into just like drink good water, take care of yourself, and love the world. And it was fun. I'm not the same way. I hate everybody and everything.
Yeah.
But I love to hate it.
Yeah, I was just hiking recently with my father in Runyon Canyon in L.A. and ran into Cease. I didn't see him in forever, and it ruined my whole workout because we just stopped and had an inspirational talk for 20 minutes. I'm like, this is great, but you're like, my heart rate is down again.
You were in the canyon. Did you hear about the severed head and hands and
I just
feet?
saw that.
What?
Yeah, by the Hollywood sign.
The Hollywood sign, they found a head, and then the next day they found hands and feet. And so there's just like a decapitated head in a plastic bag, and then feet and hands that were just left by the Hollywood sign.
Now, is it from the same person?
They're waiting to
Let's
match it up. Yeah, exactly.
Let's only hope it's not like
it's
like
two
a
separate feet,
jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, you got to put it all back together.
That's horrible. Was it a Mexican guy?
Why would you ask that question?
I didn't know.
What does that mean? Are you the murderer?
Well, there's like
if it was,
I hate
it's my
watching
friend's
news in LA
gardener
because it's always about like murder. Like there was some dude in OC who was like murdering. This Mexican dude was like murdering all these homeless people. It's like depressing.
Yeah,
that's why I was wondering. If it was
Why gotta mention he's Mexican?
He was just.
Huh?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Because I like to eat at Taco Bell.
Look at Ben.
Yeah,
you need to have a talk to with Lucas about his Mexican vendetta here.
It's really weird. It's like if there's any group to hate, it's the Asians.
Yeah.
Aren't I right, Lucas?
I know, man.
Lucas hates him too.
Lucas is Asian, if people don't know that.
Oh, yes.
Chang, all those
He
Asian.
used to be Asian. He's trying to distance himself as much as possible.
I feel white, dude. Like, honestly, like, I went to eat dim sum in San Fran, and I'm going through Chinatown. I felt white.
Really?
I'm like, why are people talking like that?
If you became gay, would you become Caucasian? That's the question you have to ask yourself.
That is a big question. Hey, you're doing a show here in town. We forgot to mention that.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
Tonight.
People can check you out tonight or tomorrow night out at Manny's. Are tickets still available on the website?
Yeah.
MontanaComedy.com, or, of course, you can just get tickets in the door if they're at the door.
8 o'clock each night.
You're rubbing off them. You get tickets in the door.
Take tickets in the door and then throw your career down the faucet.
Down the career.
Down the career.
Yeah,
Rimrock Mall, too.
Rimrock Mall as well. For who? Anybody? Any crazy openers or anything? Dane Cook opening for you? Or?
Dane Cook's opening every show.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a dude
Probably.
flying in from San Francisco. His name is Eric Murphy.
Oh, right on.
He's coming in to...
Contractually demands his name is said in that manner.
Murphy. He's a goofy black dude, like light-skinned black dude. But he's just...
What a strange way to sell an act. I won't tell you what kind of comedy he does, but he's a goofy, light-skinned black dude. He likes to wear loafers, and I'll tell you what, the man brings posters with him. And another thing, I understand boxer briefs. So check that show out.
Well, I'm trying to sell part of the show to those hairstylists who love black guys.
Oh, true.
There is a market for that in the city. I do see where he's coming from.
8 o'clock each night, you can see black hairstyles live on stage.
Love that. He's a very funny comedian. He's black, light-skinned.
So it's pleasing to everybody.
I'm not going to go out and watch any of those real dark black guys do comedy. Oh, he's light-skinned. He might be funny. Oh,
No, it's the true thing. Like, we just had Ty Barnett here in November, and like a lot of other black comedians have hit me up, like, I'd like to go out there. But honestly, like, we talked to the audience, we asked them what kind of comedy they like, and honestly, a lot of the people that come to the show, they can only take a certain amount of black headliners.
Yeah, what you want to do when you're booking a comedy show, Lucas, is definitely book based on the racist prejudices of your audience. Hey, guys, before we book the rest of the year, let me know, are there any races you dislike in particular? What shade of skin color are you not into? I book according to your needs here, Montana Comedy. Come down to Asian Nights Lounge, where we only have a certain kind of black.
We hate gay people. Todd Glass, you're off the bill for next year.
If you only you'd waited for that podcast 2 more weeks, bro, you could have flown down to big country.
I talked to the audience, man. I talked to the audience.
Hey,
I love it.
Just good customer service right there.
That is. Let's throw it out there that Ben Gleib is. Let's pretend he's not Jewish and just throw out there that he's just a white. He's a white individual.
Earlier. I'm white.
He's just a white guy.
I'm mostly
He's a Jew.
white, guys. I don't practice religions.
Anything you like, he is that. He's not anything you hate. He's not that.
I'm not black, but if I were, I'd be pretty light-skinned, probably.
He'd be a very light-skinned black. I can tell right now.
Totally.
If he was an Asian, he'd be a very, very good driver. He's every stereotype flipped on its head.
If I were Asian, I would book based on racial preferences of my audiences.
You should take that. You know, Kyle Cease has gotten on this whole be positive bandwagon. You should revolutionize the comedy industry and take Lucas's way of thinking back to Los Angeles and around the globe. Tell Chelsea. You know what? I have a feeling a lot of these people that travel in from other states and come and see your show aren't as comfortable with having regular appearances by other races on this show. Maybe have a black night and the rest of the night just keep it to us normals.
Right. Yeah, that's a great suggestion. I'm going to definitely take that and put it in my career down the faucet of my career.
I am not racist. I'm just let you guys know I do have black friends.
You do?
Yeah.
How dark are they?
Pretty Charlie Murphy dark.
He has a paint swatch that he holds up to see if you fall into too light skinned to too dark. Yeah.
He occasionally, just to prove he's not racist, he has the one dark-skinned black friend. They walk out publicly. He's like, "Hey, great being with you, African-American friend of mine."
Here he is.
Here he is. Oh. Check out his skin tone, guys. Not a racist Asian comedian.
It's going to be great. Somebody said, best interview ever. This guy's hilarious. McLovin, I've never wanted to punch you in the face as badly as I do right now. People loving it. He was an Iraq war vet.
Who was?
I don't know. Something about the Mexican guy. He was an Iraqi war vet. That's why they think he was targeting homeless people. Don't even think he was actually Mexican. So Lucas not only hates Mexican people committing crimes, he makes criminals Mexican.
Yeah,
the dude's not even Mexican.
See, you know what? The Mexicans in Los Angeles are different from the Mexicans in Billings. It seems like, you know what I mean?
They are a little different. Yeah.
Lucas
the way
is
they
like,
speak.
Don't you hate those serial killers like Dahmer and Manson? Mexicans.
Yeah. Man. If anybody out there driving in a white Bronco like that Mexican O.J. Simpson.
Those gangs in L.A.
Yeah,
man.
They freak me out as well. Ben Gleib tonight and tomorrow night at Manny's, 8 o'clock. You can get tickets at the Rimrock Mall or MontanaComedy.com and come see a crazy show. He opened for Dane Cook at the Fieldhouse, which is in Bozeman, you idiot.
I know. I'm so sorry I said that correctly earlier.
Yeah, you can check that out. He's on Chelsea lately. He does a lot of big stuff. It's a privilege to have him here in town. So go support local comedy. Check the show out. And we got one more pair of tickets for, what's the 20th? Is that today, McLove?
Tonight.
Tonight. We're going to hook you up with a pair of tickets to tonight right now. 238-1019, caller number 9. We'll hook you up with those. Is Ben the one on after lately with the curly blonde reddish fro?
Okay, that's Brad Wallach. You're offensive with that question. No, I'm not. All right? I don't even want this questioner to come to the show tonight. I'll tell you that much.
You know who that is?
No, I'm just, who the person they're describing?
Oh, I thought you meant you knew who the texter was and that you were that offended.
No, but how do you confuse me with Brad Wallach? Brad's a great guy. We look nothing similar. We don't sound alike at all. That's like basically saying, is Ben the one on after lately who's Chelsea Handler?
Yeah.
No, I'm not Chelsea Handler.
Yeah, Ben is clearly
I'm
not
her dog Chunk.
That red-haired Mexican guy that's on the show.
No, killing people all over the Hollywood sign.
Yeah, different guy here.
The different murderous Mexican guy.
If you loved the interview, don't just support him on the radio. Support him in person tonight and tomorrow night out of Manny's. It's going to be a great show. I personally guarantee it. And if it's not, talk to Lucas about it, and he'll give you your money back, I'm sure. Coming up next,
The Big J Show. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on Billings' #1 hit music station, Hot 101.9.